fresh granite right off the outcrop. Doesn't get any better than that, does it, in the morning? I'll tell you. Now, we said this is a granite. Does that look like any of the granites? You can pass this around. You can cut any rocks you want to here. Really, if you're so inclined. Does that really look like a granite that was in your rock kit?
No.
It doesn't, does it? Well, because granites can vary quite a bit. But on the exposure, the fresh surface I've broken up for you, if you had to give it a textural description, what would you say? Is it coarse grained, fine grained, or porphyritic?
Coarse grain.
It's coarse grained. Yeah, you can see the grains in it as you turn the light, right? So they're visible, and they're all about the same size. So that means it's not porphyritic. Porphyritic means there's 2 grain sizes on it. So that's okay. Now we need to come up, number 2 here, with a plausible mineral composition there. So those of you that have seen the granite or still passed around there, anybody want another piece? Here's your step. Okay. I like to exercise my rock hammer on any time I get. What do you think?
Maybe plagioclase?
Okay, there's probably a feldspar in there. It could be a plagioclase, but I noticed on one of the fresh samples here. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good right there. Some of the that's not very good. Yeah. I see a hint of a pinkish tinge there. And what do we know about the pink-colored minerals? Somewhat pinkish. Anybody remember that mineral?
Oh,
Yeah.
potassium?
Potassium feldspar, yes. Otherwise known as orthoclase. Remember that one? Yeah. But you mentioned plagioclase, and it's
I thought it was the pink that was.
the pink is the orthoclase. The plagioclase generally is kind of gray to whitish most of the time. That's more of a generalization. They do overlap somewhat in their nature. So I would say plagioclase would be a likely. Orthoclase would be the likely pinkish feldspar that's in there. What about the darker mineral in there? Can you see a little dark? There's darker, little darker grains that are kind of scattered through there. What is it?
Hornblende?
Hornblende, yeah. Probably it's a hornblende. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe some of it is mixed with biotite, which is also a dark mica. Remember, hornblende and biotite, in small grains in a rock there, they can kind of look the same. It's not easy to tease them out. And then there's a bit of a glassy-looking grain that's kind of stuck in there a little bit here and there, and that probably is going to be one of our most common rock-forming minerals. Silica, which in this case would come in the mineral quartz. Yeah. So we already know what's rock named, don't we? Number 3 is it's a granite. Okay. It's kind of a it's kind of a darker granite than you're used to seeing there. It is very weathered, isn't it? I mean, look at the outcrop here. It's just dark, and that's just part of the weathering exposure of this granite. And number 4 right here, it says comment on any other significant features. What do they mean by jointing? What's implied there?
The fusion of the minerals?
I never thought about it. That would be like joining. This is jointing, like a joint. So when you hear the word joint, other than the state of Colorado
or Washington,
if you're looking at a construction site where they're using masonry block, what do they call those? The joints, right?
Yeah.
Where they're meeting. Okay, so basically in geological parlance, when you say jointing, that means that there's lots of cracks and fractures through it. What do you think? Yeah, look at this thing. This is just crisscrossed with all kinds of natural joints within it there. Those joints are probably a combination of when the rock originally cooled, it kind of contracted a little bit and formed a parallel series of cracks and joints in it. And then later on, it's been uplifted, right, here, and the tectonics area and the faulting in this region here has cracked it up even further. So it's kind of like a windshield shattered, right? And that's basically what we have there. Let's see. How about what would you speculate in terms of the granite? It's kind of early on here, but it turns out that in this little wash we are, the rock that is opposite the wash over here, if you have a pretty good view of it, you can see that it's a different looking rock. It has a pattern to it, whereas this is kind of just crisscrossed, yeah. But this one has a very distinctive pattern to it, doesn't it? So actually it turns out the wash on the other side, the rock opposite the wash here is a metamorphic rock, and this is an igneous rock here. So what I'd like to do is to have us have an opportunity to see the contact maybe between the granite and this metamorphic rock. And that tells us a little bit about the age relationship, right? Which one's first? Which one's older? So to see that, we're going to have to kind of single file it up here.